Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome back, Ofer again. In today's video I want to share with you a story of an online guitar purchase gone wrong. I bought this Jackson RR1, rather beautiful guitar from Diablo Guitars. That's a guitar shop located in Renton, Washington. I saw the ad for this guitar online and just couldn't pass it. So I contacted them and we went on from there. I asked them countless questions, I asked for videos, I asked so many times if the guitar had any mods being done to it because it was pretty expensive. I bought this guitar for like 3,000 bucks. And they said to me time and time again the guitar had nothing wrong with it except this ding in the upper horn, which is really bullshit to me. I really don't give a fuck about it. But unfortunately there was so much wrong with this guitar when I got it, I was so disappointed. This was supposed to be a really exciting unboxing video for the guitar. I always wanted one of these made in USA Jacksons, especially an R1 with this awesome finish, really exciting stuff. But when I saw everything that was wrong with this guitar, I had to contact Diablo Guitars and then things started going downhill. Why didn't I return the guitar? I didn't return it because I would have lost a lot of money for taxes and shipping handling. Maybe I could get some of the tax money back, but I couldn't get around 220 bucks for the handling of the shipment from UPS. And I'd rather keep the guitar and get refunded for 360 bucks. That's what they refund me for. I asked for 800 and you'll see what's wrong with this guitar, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. I'm not making this video to make a bad name for Diablo Guitars. I'm making this video to share my story and get it under my chest, and maybe it will be a bit therapeutic for me, and also to warn you of the dangers of buying guitars online, especially expensive guitars. Alright, so let's start with the last thing I noticed a couple hours ago about this guitar. I haven't played it at all, just like a couple chords when I got it, because I've noticed the worst thing about it first. But now that I started playing it, I noticed the bad fret job on this guitar. This guitar has a really bad buzzing problem. Especially on the D string, that's why I'm going over it. And that's due to the frets not being rounded correctly and not being polished. Really a shame, how can you be a guitar luthier? And I've actually talked to the guitar luthier of Diablo Guitars and not fix this thing up, This guitar was sold for $3,000. How could you not just round the frets and polish them correctly before you list it, or at least notify the buyer that the frets are not right on the thing? Such a shame. Let's move on to the worst thing about this guitar. When I got it, I started playing it and I've noticed the first frets are touching the high strings, and immediately, I took off the nut because it's pretty normal to shim the nut and make it higher or lower according to what you need, and I saw that the nut was broken. Yeah, you heard it correctly. Let's move on to my workbench and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so we moved on to my working bench. By the way, that's the nut the guitar came with. It came with unoriginal Floyd Rose screws, which is probably what made the nut break official in the end. You can see here the screws compared to each other. The shorter screw is the screw the guitar came with, the unoriginal one. It's shorter and fatter than the longer and slimmer Floyd Rose screw. That's also a modification, guys. So yeah, when you say the guitar is unmodified, that doesn't count. And check it out. Here's the broken nut we've all been talking about. Pretty bad. And you can also see the glued shims. Why would anyone want to glue shims to his nut? This holds fairly well under pressure of the nut, which is pretty high. So gluing the shims is pretty dumb and also hard to fix, take off. I hope I won't take it off and it will break. And also you can see some sanding marks on the nut, which were caused by the guy trying to lower it or whatever he tried to do and breaking it on the way. So yeah, they told me and they will refund me for $100 for it. They did refund me for $100. I asked for 500 based on an opinion of a well-respected luthier in my area. He told me that after it's been fixed, if you say you have a guitar with a broken nut that would repair it, should take off around $500. Especially of value of a high-end guitar like this one. And yeah, they didn't give a shit. So yeah, a broken nut. No pun intended there, but that's not a normal thing to have. When I talked to the guitar luthier named Cody at Diablo Guitars, he actually told me this is pretty normal to see. I don't know how can a guitar luthier say something like this. It's normal to have a broken sanded down nut that had the shims glued to it really badly and really sloppily and unevenly. I don't know how it happened. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. This guitar had its fretboard edges rounded, the binding. I'll put a picture, you probably can't see it through the camera properly because I don't own such a good camera. But apparently the previous owner rounded the edges of the fingerboard to get this kind of rolled edges like Charvel offers and stuff. But that's also an irreversible modification that lowered the value of the guitar. So how could you not notify the buyer? Especially, I've asked so many times, was this guitar modded in any way? Time and time again, the answer was no. This guitar is in mint condition except this stupid thing on the upper horn, which is a lie, huge lie, you know. This guitar, you've seen the nut. If that's not a modification and a really bad modification, what could it be? And also the fingerboard edges. Also, there's a ton of glue. I also put a picture. Probably the previous owner noticed the binding is starting to separate. I've seen it happen on some of my other Charvel guitars. At the connection point here, the binding is starting to separate. He probably glued it really, really badly. Lots of glue over there. Why haven't you fixed it? I don't know. Alright, moving on. When I saw the listing online, the guitar was shot in a brand new looking V-shaped case. And that's what I was expecting to get, but instead of it I got this big bulky old beat up Jackson case, which I opened it up and immediately one of the straps just got ripped off. It was glued really badly. I also put a picture and just slipped out of it. You can see it's broken in this corner. It's just so beat up, so bulky, so old, and on top of all, it was not in the listing, you know. In the listing I had a brand new V-shaped case. But you know about the case, they did refund me properly $160 for the case. I can buy a new case for this money, so that's okay. But still, you know, so much wrong with this guitar. And Parker, the owner, didn't even call me, you know. I sent him a few emails telling him, hey, if you want to talk about it through the phone to make justice to the whole thing, feel free to call me, let's talk about it. And he just wrote me a few emails, and when I told him that I think $800 would be justified for all the wrong things that this guitar had and all of the bad feelings I had because of this purchase, you know, buying a guitar for so much money and getting so much wrong with it, you know, you should get confiscated for this. And the last thing he told me is just, alright, I'll send you a return label for it, and ignoring the fact that I would have lost like $220 for nothing, wasted time, wasted feelings. I would have lost $220 for nothing, you know. I wouldn't have a guitar in hand. I would have gone through so much paperwork, phone calls to UPS to get my taxes back, which they couldn't guarantee I would get back, so probably I would have lost like $660 for nothing, you know, just for buying a guitar from Diablo Guitars. So, yeah, I'd really not recommend you to buy expensive guitars online. In my experience, I would recommend you buy a guitar from Diablo Guitars as well, but that's just my experience. I really wish if you buy a guitar from Diablo Guitars that you would have a good experience. But yeah, just wanted to share my story, get it out of my chest. and hopefully get some insight to you that online guitar purchases can go wrong and you need to be careful with this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the story with Diablo Guitars and this beautiful Jackson RR1 that had so much wrong with it. I really don't want to have this kind of bad vibe videos on the channels and making bad name for anyone. I'm not this type of guy and I'm not intending to do any more videos like this, but I won't be messed up with, and if anyone is trying to fuck me up, I'm not going to shut up about it, so beware. Thank you very much for watching. Please, if you're new to the channel, check out some of the other videos and please subscribe if you like what I'm doing. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Ofer Holan. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Stay safe. And I hope you will only have good guitar purchases, online or not. Bye bye.